Golden Image.
Oh, I finally got a crap this game.
Rock on.
Oh! Wow. No, 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 no.
Hello, Golden Image Podcast listeners. It is I, Golden J, right here on your radio, in your ear hole, the way that I like it. No? With me always, 3-time podcast favorite, Chico Noise, and the Skywalker.
Young Skywalker.
Oh.
Chico Noise, the podcast favorite. Skywalker's just here.
I gotta dig at you when you're here, man. You know.
Oh, it's all good.
It's all
I
good.
deserve it,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Especially after last episode's dig on the old Fat Billy Ray Cyrus, you know.
So he calls me the Monday before Families Helping Families, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's blowing me crap because I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it. Which, you know, we're a big family. We all try to support each other. I had stuff going on. And he's like, Skyler, I just want you to know you're my favorite on the podcast. I'm like, Andy, I love you. That's not going to be true after last episode, though.
He actually said that you were the favorite on the podcast?
He said he enjoys listening to me the most.
Huh. Well,
That's my
Andrew.
boy. That's my boy.
Andrew. Just saying, who showed up? The Families Out with Families. Done all that DJing for you. Promoted. Who's your favorite now, bitch?
I'm kind of the third background guy here. I don't really say a whole lot. All my words come out on the call, guys.
That is true. That is true. And, you know, once again, and I've emphasized this, and even Skyler said it just before we got started, the Call Guys is an amazing podcast that you guys have put together, and I know that the two of us really look forward to listening to it every Monday when it comes out, and you guys are doing a great job. We were listening to it yesterday. I was doing a replay. Your mom was listening to it for the first time. Your latest episode, the latest episode that had come out at this point, but just the amount of research that you two are putting into each one of these episodes, I don't think
one of us.
Well, you know, wow,
Vanilla Thunder.
I was gonna really, you know, give Vanilla Thunder a little bit of love, but
He does a good job.
he does a great job. But I was listening to it, just thinking about the amount of research you guys are putting into this, and building your lists, and just preparing for each show. And you guys are doing this thing weekly. So it's not like you're recording 2 or 3 at a time where you have a month to look into all that stuff. You guys are doing it weekly. So every week you guys are putting in a strong effort, and it's coming through. People love it. You know, it's interesting to hear the feedback. Skyler was one of those that says he yells at Colton at his radio every week, and stuff like that. But that's what really brings you back to listen to it. It's like, what is Colton gonna say this week, or where is this story gonna go? What story are you guys gonna tell? And it makes it entertaining. And if you listen to Golden Image Podcast and don't listen to the Call Guys, definitely go check out. How many episodes you guys through now? Oh, at 20.
Well,
probably
by
by
the time
now.
This one, it'd probably be 30.
Yeah, you'd probably be into the beer 30
Yeah.
episodes. So 30 episodes. You guys are doing a great job. We need to figure out how to get more people to listen to it. I mean, your numbers are not terrible. But they could definitely be a lot better, and we need to figure that out. I think people could really enjoy it, and then you get those emails telling Colton that he's wrong.
To be fair, it's not just Colton I yell at.
Really?
Chico over here will be like, "Oh, what's that actor's name?" And then there'll be like 5 or 6 seconds of silence. I'll be like, "It's Adam Sandler, guys. Come on."
I don't think I do that. with Adam
I don't think you do it with Adam Sandler, yeah.
I just can't think of the ones that they can't name off the top of my head.
Mike,
they're always...
what is it? Danny McBride.
Yeah.
That
Danny
was one that
McBride,
came
yeah.
out, yeah.
And then the other guy, the skinny guy that he was talking about from.
Did you ever figure out who
Tropic
that
Thunder.
was?
Yeah, Logan had sent something. I don't remember who it was.
Gotcha. You don't remember now. Now Logan's yelling at. Now he's yelling at Golden Image Podcast. Damn it, Chico!
That's right. So Beer 30, we're recording it, and Sarah and Courtney were there. They were just sitting off to the side listening to us talk, and we're like talking about a movie, and I think it was Snake Plissken had said something about a movie, and he's like, I don't think it's on any streaming services. And then you get Courtney in the background, it's on Peacock, because she had Googled it. I was like, we need somebody sitting in with us at all times, ready to Google everything we have a question about. That way we're not distracted trying to Google it.
Well, that's what your father was supposed to be doing with MurdNerds. He was supposed to be like that research guy, right?
Yeah,
they compared you to Crime Junkies or whatever. They had like a Steven.
Yeah, Steven, but it wasn't Crime Junkies. He was on My Favorite Murder, maybe? I don't remember.
But yeah, just having that extra there, that's like, oh, I got to type that real fast.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, and I do that on occasion.
Right.
Not very often. They usually do enough of their own research to cover that. But yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But I end up getting more involved in the whole thing than I probably should. Let those girls take that over.
He's way into the stories at this point.
It's true. I very much. I listen to them very carefully as they're presenting them, so I can come up with my own theories and have my own questions and stuff like that. That's fun for me. I enjoy that a lot. So that's MurdNerds. You can find that at all your favorite streaming sites. MurdNerds.
But anyway,
but
guys.
Dawn did that in Texas when we were doing
yeah.
the chiller filler down there. She was running that for Logan. She would be like, holding up her phone, and you can hear him come away from the mic, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that was that movie." So yeah, Pet Cemetery. That was that song by that band.
It was the Ramones.
But yeah, if you catch it, I mean, I caught it because I was there and I knew what was going on. But it was pretty cool. So now now Sarah has a job for the Call Guys.
She could, yeah.
Yeah. She ain't doing nothing but taking a nap on the couch.
Get a headphone amp there, and she can just throw headphones on and listen along.
There you go. She can be your Steven.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not a bad idea.
I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Oh,
What were you
you're
saying?
good. I do love Call Guys. It's definitely the one I look forward to listening to the most each week. So
for me, because I edit and are in on them, so all week long, I do listen back to them. I listen back to all of them as they stream out to make sure everything was okay in it. The Call Guys and Team Teos's 2-Sop episodes, I don't have anything to editing wise or anything like that involved in those. So as I'm listening to them Monday morning or Wednesday morning, they're completely fresh and new for me too. So, and that's I know that's why people listen to podcasts, but that's why I listen to those for sure, and that's what I look forward to. Call Guys, I'm a big Colton Keel fan. I like Colton. He's a good dude, and it's so much fun just to hear him, well, I don't have much to say to the Emperor this week.
I will. I do want to throw Chico and Colton some love. They said some very nice things about me in the beginning of the episode a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, I really do enjoy both of you guys a lot. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah, we're trying to find that episode to bring you on to.
Oh, that's right. You guys talked about maybe
war
movies
yeah.
or something like that,
or historical dramas or something.
Whenever you guys are ready for me, I'm glad to be on. I just got to make sure my mic doesn't do that weird thing it was doing during that Connor interview for Tucson, where it sounded like I was sitting half a room away while I was talking.
I think if we ever have a male guest on, name's just got to be Connor. Conrad John, Connor Biddle. Just bring in the Connors.
Bring on the Connors. Yeah. Both of I have not heard the Conrad John interview yet. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. By the time this comes out, it's already been out for about a month, but
true.
But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. You get a chance, go check out the Call Guys.
Facebook.com/callguyspod.
There you go. Or you can email them at
thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. And check us out on Twitter. Not Twitter. We're not on Twitter.
We're not on Twitter.
Instagram and TikTok.
And the one you guys never plug, YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I always forget that we're on YouTube. We literally post a YouTube video every single Monday morning along with the Spotify. So, yes. Especially go back and watch the Connor Johnson one. Conrad John.
Yeah. Do you watch them more on YouTube or stream?
I stream them while I'm driving, but I always throw up the videos in the background while I'm, doing random things. That way they can get the view.
Yeah.
And I know from streaming it, they're like, oh, go watch this part on YouTube. You can see Colton rip off his hat and shirt and throw on his Bears gear.
Dude, that was the fucking funniest thing ever. I enjoyed it. I think I watched that 2 or 3 times, just that part. He was so into getting
fired up.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was amazing. Yeah. The rant to the emperor.
Well, and then the whole explanation of what the hat actually is. It's the actual hat from Vacation that that he wears in that movie.
And I have not watched it. Did he have his grandfather's hat then with him?
Yeah, he pulled out the fridge hat.
Right on.
Yep.
Amazing. Yeah, good stuff. I need to get him some actual logos for to hold up in the paper at the end when you're doing your plugs.
Yeah. Yep.
Remind me. I think I might have a couple in the house I'll send with you. I don't know when the next time you see him is, but an actual person, but he doesn't know either.
I don't know either. It's a good question. I don't know if he's going to Jared and Courtney's housewarming party or not.
Right on. If he is, let me know. I'll give you those, and he can throw them in his truck and take them home with him.
Yeah.
Some nice printouts of each logo. So if you notice, I don't know if he uses this all the time, but it doesn't say Golden Image Podcast. It says Golden Image Radio.
Yeah. And then what does that Indiana Chiefs fans one say? He said something in the corner. It's like sucks or something like that.
Yeah, suck it, or yeah. There ain't nothing like driving by when he's out at Jellystone with his whole entire family, and you're on the golf cart, and you go, Colton, suck it! And everybody looks like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into our topics for today. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, well, who's going first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I think you should.
Right. Chico's on the clock.
On the clock with the first pick in the 2022
in the 2022 episode 16
draft. I am going to talk a little bit about the Breakroom Pub and Grill in Argos. Now, this is a little tiny hole-in-the-wall pub that was just bought out, a year and a half ago maybe, and they started revamping it, new owners and all this stuff. And it's kind of like a George's, where he had his own farm, and he does a lot of his own produce and meat and stuff like that. So
nice.
They did that there, so their food's really good. It's a really cool place. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Hooples. It's small like that, where you have the long bar and then seating along it. So found this place because of Jared and Courtney. When they were living on the west side of 31, now they're on the east side of 31, they would go to Argos all the time, and they would go to the Breakroom to get food because it was so close to their house. So like I said, small pub. It's located at 138 South Michigan Street, Argos, Indiana 46501. zip code for you.
We love the zip codes.
Like I said, they have great food. They have daily specials, and they post their daily specials on Facebook at the beginning of every week. So they post them Monday through Friday, what they're having every single day. And when you walk in, they have them listed on a light-up whiteboard right up front, so you know what they have: beer specials, food specials, all that good stuff. They also have really cheap double wells. So if you want a good Jack and Coke, they make strong Jack and Cokes for cheap. I think they're like $4 or $5 for a double, and that's cheap for a double in most places.
That's cheap for a single.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I've had there, their Philly cheesesteak's really good.
Okay. I love a good Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, me too.
Is it made with Cheese Whiz though?
No, it's not.
Nope. No.
It's an Indiana Philly cheesesteak. Most Indiana Philly cheesesteaks are not your typical Philly, which we've had an actual Philly.
Yes.
And it is very good.
Oh my goodness. So good.
I've had some Phillies out in Pennsylvania when I'm in Williamsport that have been really good.
Pretty close to what was it?
Not even. What is that place called?
Dude, I'm totally drawing a blank. Is it John's or?
It's just a straight name. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the thing out there. And Jared always.
Let me get into research mode.
Where's our in-house Googler?
Yeah, no kidding.
No, Jared had always told me when you go out to Philly, you order Whiz or Whiz out because you can get a different kind of cheese on it. So you say Whiz or Whiz out. But even out in Pennsylvania, when I've been out there, they don't. Not until you get to Philly where they actually do that. Most of the Phillies everywhere else are just kind of what we have here.
Yeah, the provolone or whatever.
Yeah, provolone. And the one place I had a really good one, I was out there by myself one time, and I sat down, and she's like, "What do you want on it?" And I was like, "Just everything." Came out, and they literally put everything from the kitchen. Salsa, jalapenos, like, it was just loaded with, like, anything they had. And so, but this place has a really good Philly. I mean, it's all griddled peppers, onions, mushrooms, all the good stuff on there. They have some really good burgers. I can't remember what the name of the burger is that they have, but it's really good. It's just like their in-house burger. The other thing is they have some of the best fries I've ever had, and you can get all the. I mean, they have like steak cut. They have waffle fries. They have curly fries, kind of like a wings where you can get all the different fries. Other than that, man, it's so small. There's not really a whole lot to see while you're there. I mean, it's kind of just your local dive bar.
Man, those little hole in the wall bars always seem to be the best, though. I mean, Hooples and Bremen, man, their food is killer.
What they do prime rib once a month at Hooples, and then the week after they do prime rib sandwiches with the leftover prime rib. They make some good prime rib sandwiches. Yeah, they have good food.
Yeah, just ordered a tenderloin from up there last night, so
pretty good.
How is their tenderloin?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Indiana tenderloin, but
not 10 feet long and big old circle.
Right.
It is Jim's South Street.
Yeah.
That's where we went while we were in Philly.
And it was good.
But we did the same thing. I did the research on it before I went, and was like, everybody that was. I mean, there's just so many of them in Philadelphia. Every corner has one. This was the place that we were told to go from people who lived there. This is the best. And the research that I did talked about. You do it with Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
Right.
Cheese Whiz.
Yep.
Well, I think it was Portillo's. I was up in Mishawaka a couple weeks ago, and they're doing a Philly now, but they advertise it with Cheese Whiz.
Really?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was Portillo's. Don't hold me to that 100%. But
the food truck that was in Warsaw that is now in Plymouth, we talked about their Philly cheesesteak, and when I went to get it, I was like, they were like, "What cheese?" And I go, "I want Cheese Whiz," because this was after I got back from Philly. And she looked at me like I was insane. She goes, well, we don't have cheese whiz, but we got nacho cheese. I'm like, that's good. Put that on it.
Yeah.
And it was really good that way.
Anything that, because the cheese whiz they have out in Philly isn't what you're thinking. It's not like cheese whiz cheese.
Right.
It is like a nacho cheese / cheddar cheese, really thick, creamy
Right.
dip,
Yeah.
almost.
So what else besides what kind of food are we looking at down in Argos?
We said burgers and fries, Phillies. I think they do have a tenderloin on their menu, and then their specials, they range anywhere from just the most random things to, I think, pasta they even do.
Right on.
So they have everything. It's pretty much all over the board. And like I said, a lot of the beef is their own farm. A lot of the other stuff I don't know. I think their Philly is actually made with their beef.
Nice.
So they also do events. They do wine and canvas. I don't know how often they do it, but I think they have somebody local come in to do wine and canvas. And then they have live music on Fridays.
Really?
Yeah, which is surprising for a small place like that.
They have a split stage like, say, Rex's does?
I
or
don't even know where they would put a stage in there. Maybe
Right
I
on.
should go on a Friday just to see.
Just check it
I
out.
would almost think probably more like what Pagan does at Bar 13, where it's like
If he's just doing the
up
acoustic
there,
act,
up
yeah.
there by the side of the.
Yeah. But he has a stage on that other side
Yeah.
of the building
Yeah.
for the bands that he brings on the weekends.
Yeah.
Do they do takeout?
Yeah.
You call in, take out?
Yep.
See, herein lies my problem. And I don't know if you guys have this problem or not, but I'll get home on a Wednesday night. Your mom will get home, and it's like, so what's for supper? And there's just a dramatic pause because it's like you don't really feel like cooking, but you don't know really what you want. And it's places like this that I just keep forgetting about. You know, you could call them, get an order, run down, pick it up, come back. You know, it's the same as ordering, running to a drive-thru in Warsaw and, getting Penguin Point or Jimmy John's or Taco Bell or whatever. It's the same deal. I just, when you think you're just like, oh, running through the fast food places, what do I really want? And, with my job, I'm out a lot, and it becomes a thing. Whereas, like, well, what do I want? Do I want a Whopper today? Do I want a quarter pounder with cheese today? Do I want to, my belly shows it. I know. Yeah, don't make fun of me, Skyler.
I think you're preaching the choir, but yeah.
I'm working on it myself.
But yeah, so I gotta start remembering all of these places that I want to try, and this is the perfect opportunity. And hopefully this rings a bell, whoever our listeners are, that, these places are out there.
And you don't have to go get a Big Mac. You can go to a bar.
You can go and get a
order out.
damn good burger, whether it be... What's the name of the place one more time? Because I'm drawing a blank.
The Breakroom.
The Breakroom, sorry. Whether it be the Breakroom or whether it be Bar 13 or, whatever the case may be.
The Damn Landing, we should do one on that place, too. That
Yeah.
is a really good place.
We should go there
We need to go
again.
there. Yes.
And then come back and do a report.
We should.
Well, and this is like I said a few months ago after the wedding, we went up to Michigan City, and instead of going to like Red Lobster or whatever, I was like, let's just go to somewhere that's only in Michigan City. Let's try something different. And I enjoyed it with the two places we went to. So, take a risk, go out and try something new, have some fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm all about, these local breweries popping up and just going out and trying their blondes or the reds or so.
My deal for me is this over the last, couple months and going into another couple months, it's just been so busy. I haven't been able to really get out and do anything. And, it's tough because I want to do these new places and check them out. And this is why we do this, so you can have, you need to go check these places out.
Did we talk about, because Sarah and I went up to Michigan City 2 months ago maybe, and I actually we went to go to the outlet mall like we always do.
Right.
But my boss had told me about Bartlett's. I don't think we've talked about Bartlett's yet, have we? Okay. So then maybe I'll talk about Bartlett's one of these episodes. It's
Okay.
a fish camp up there, right off the lake. So
The fish camp.
I can't remember what restaurant we went to off the top of my head. I have it written down or in my phone.
Right.
I don't think it was Bartlett's, though.
but yeah, that's the break room.
The break room.
Pub and Grill, 138 South Michigan Street, Argos, Indiana 46501. Like I said, small pub, but good food. The owners are nice. Bar's right there. Good drinks.
Is that so? It's right downtown.
Yeah.
Is that the place?
Right next to Bourbon Street Pizza.
Right. No, there's a Bourbon Street Pizza in Argos now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
It was Shoreline is what we went to while we were up in Michigan City, by the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, heard Shoreline's good too.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Jay's. It used to be Jay's. Is what it used to be called.
That's the one right across the street from where Brad used to live in that house.
That apartment. Yep.
Cool. All right. I get to tell your mom we're gonna need to try that place out.
I don't know, man. Argos is a little bit of a haul. See, that's the problem with living in, like, where you live, right?
It is.
I mean, you have George's, which, I mean, I haven't been there since they reopened.
I haven't either.
I have.
I love the original George's.
Yeah.
Me
But
too.
living in places like Bremen and Plymouth, we got in Bremen we have La Pria, Caliente, El Rancho Vejo now, the Mean Bean. So
Oh, yeah,
we have all these just little food options that I love pretty much every single one of them, and would go back any day of the week.
Yeah, and you're just 2 minutes down the road from
Right.
all those places. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have the one option. I mean, I could go to the cafe. The cafe has really good
pretty
food.
good.
Yeah, cafe's got decent food.
But we never think about that. We always think food. So you're thinking fast food.
I don't know
And-
what I'm gonna do in New Paris. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but you're what, a 5-minute drive from
Goshen.
Goshen.
And 10 minutes from Warsaw and 10 minutes from Napanee, I guess. So.
That's true. That's true. And have you? I don't know. I'm not going to ask you that here. Remind me. I'll ask you later. That's just no place for that conversation here. Very good. Very good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool place.
Cool. All right, Skywalker. It's all you.
All right.
We're about to talk about one of my favorite places.
Yeah. We packed up the kids a couple weeks ago, and we just decided that we wanted to go camping. So we took a weekend and went down to France Park. That is at 4505 US 24, Logansport, Indiana, 46947.
Zip codes.
Fields are cool, okay.
Okay. We went tent camping. First time the kids have gone tent camping. So it was an experience in itself. We got a really nice tent for the wedding. Thanks to Brad and Jane. Thank you guys. And so we spent a good chunk of Friday nights setting up
this tent.
this new tent.
Nothing like directions by the headlights of your car, isn't it?
Right, yeah. At least I went out and bought a couple like little lanterns and stuff.
Right.
So, and I could not get a fire lit to save my life because the wood they were selling was really wet.
Gotcha.
So we called it kind of early Friday night, and then Saturday we got up and cooked breakfast over the campfire, and then walked down to the waterfall. Now, this is probably one of the big reasons to go to France Park is that this little area leading down to the waterfall is just insanely beautiful.
So, is that where you were camped at? Was down in that area?
No, we were up in the electric
Okay.
area. We didn't do the primitive.
Didn't do
camping.
prim. Okay.
Yeah. We didn't figure primitive would go well with the kids, and I'm kind of glad we didn't because I couldn't get that fire started on Friday night. But,
Right on.
so we were up in the actual electric area of the campground, right across from the bathroom. So it was really nice.
That's always a good thing.
But I mean, the waterfall's still only a 5-minute walk from.
No,
from
it's not
our
far.
spot.
It's not far. I just was, because you basically drive down towards where the quarry's at, and then you make the turn, and then it's interesting to me because when you drive down to those primitives, there's so much. I'm gonna use the word foliage down there.
Foliage.
That these campsites are almost hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tuck back in there and really be in the wooded area of the park itself, and it's really cool to me. I always thought that was really neat driving down there.
I actually have an interesting story about the primitive camping, because right after college let out, me and Jess were just jumping around, kind of state park to state park. We went and spent a weekend at Starved Rock in Illinois, and then we're like, well, let's just take a weekend and go down to France Park. So we packed up all our stuff Friday, drove down. It was pretty late in the evening by the time we got there, and we didn't book a spot. So we pull up to the gate, and it was closed. There was nobody in the gatehouse. So we just drove and went and camped for the night.
Right.
In the primitive. And I mean, I think it was raining the next day, so we just packed up and left. But, so yeah, interesting.
Did you skate without paying for your campsite?
Yeah, for a whole miserable night, because we had one of the pop-up tents at that time.
Right.
But yeah, those primitive camps are just all back behind that waterfall. And,
Yeah.
So when you walk up to it, you're on the top of it.
Yep.
And then there's a staircase leading down to the bottom. So when you walk up, you're looking down at it. And I mean, it's probably a good
20 feet.
20, 25 feet
Yeah.
to the bottom. And a rickety old staircase down the
I don't
cliffside.
remember the staircase.
We never did. We always came in from the bottom. We never went up. When we did go up, we just climbed the rocks.
Ooh, that's terrifying to think about.
Oh, well, keep going, because before we leave the waterfall, I have a couple stories to tell.
So you walk down the rickety old wooden stairs, and you can go around, and then they have a wall built up around it, I would assume, for when it floods to
Right,
keep the
yeah.
water from surging up into the primitive areas. But you can walk around, and you can actually walk in the water up to the waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
which is it was a little cold from what Aspen was saying. I didn't get in it, but yeah, just a stunning little area.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing. So just to kind of give how much we actually really like this place, we were talking about wedding pictures.
Yeah. Yep. Sarah and I had our engagement. I guess it would have been our. No, I guess technically it was engagement, because it was when we booked our photographer for the wedding. She's like, well, I'd like to do an engagement session just to get to know you guys. So,
Right.
And she was from a little further south, not quite Indianapolis, but she's like, well, what do you think about meeting up France Park? And I was like, I love France Park. That's fine. So we did our pictures there. But when Montana and Trevor got engaged, I took their photos at the waterfall.
Right.
So
My big thing that we have camped there. Before we got our Jellystone site, that was one of the last places we actually camped, where we hauled the camper down there. Brad and Jane and us all. That's where we first met your guys' future brother-in-law. It was the first time I ever met him, was down there, because he come down.
it's probably a reason we did their engagement photos there.
That would probably be, yeah, probably. But we actually shot a music video at that waterfall. So when we were doing the Crankshaft Glory trilogy, we were getting into the last song for that called "The Ledge," and we needed something along those lines. And you've heard us talk about Michelle in the past. Michelle was kind of our scouter, our go-to. She was our prop girl. I mean, she did everything. And she ended up calling me, and she goes, "Listen, I was just down at France Park, and I talked to the owners, and we were out of camping season when we actually shot the video, they said, just come on down. Come on in. Just let us know when you get here. Go down, do whatever you want to do. Shoot your video. All that we ask is that we get, props at the end. So we took a nice shot of the sign out front and made sure that the video thanked them for letting us come down there and shoot. We had Diamond, who was the star of our show, jump off of the side of that waterfall because we needed a shot of her falling. And so we found the spot. It was probably about 8 foot, 7 foot up.
Yeah.
So she basically did a trust fall from there, and it was me, Michelle, Brad, and Andy that caught her. We were all interlocked, and our arms were interlocked, and and it probably took 30 minutes, 30 minutes to get
just
her
to
to
get
do
her
it.
to actually do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. She just she was standing up there and was just, it's that thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you know what you got to do, but you just can't take that first step to do it.
Right.
But luckily she did it. We got the shot, one take, one shot, and it turned out really good. But it was also cool because we actually shot inside of like a little opening that was up there. It was just big enough for me and her to go up there, and we just did some shots inside one of those little caves. It wasn't really a cave or anything. It was just kind of a little indent into the side of that, and yeah, it just turned out really, really good. I was very happy with what we ended up with, but an amazing spot just to go and do things like that. And props to the people from France Park. Be like, just come on down. We're opened up for you. Just let us know when you're here. Love it.
Yeah, it's such a just a beautiful little area, and it's extremely well kept too. I mean, Aspen was jumping along the rocks, and there was a dead fish, but I mean, there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, that's just life in general.
Right.
I got remarried to your mom down there, and I don't know if that little gazebo's still there or whatever it was. It was like a little. What is that thing
Don't
called?
think it's there.
No, it's gone. Yeah, I got remarried to your mother there. Miss Callie married us, and that.
Oh yeah.
It was a good day.
Sounds like a great day.
It was. It was a lot of fun. All right, continue on now that we've hijacked your France Park.
So we left the waterfall, went back to the campsite, got dressed, and went down to the quarry in our bathing suits and stuff. We actually just drove down to the quarry.
Did that pond? You had to ponder that for a minute. I was like, they
No,
got
I
dressed.
figured you
I mean, yeah, whatever. The kids love swimming. I've said it time and time again. They'd both spend all their time in the water if
Right.
they could. The swim hole in the quarry is just stunning. They've brought in sand and layered it over the rock for where the quarry sits, and then they built it out into it. It's clean. The water is exceptionally clean.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
I
Very
mean,
clear.
always blows my mind whenever I'm down there looking into that thing, because you can walk up the cliffside and look down and see the bus in the water,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, man, that's just crazy.
So you guys did walk up on the side and look down?
No, we didn't walk up there this time. The kids were in the water swimming.
Gotcha.
I kind of hung back because I was working on a pretty gnarly headache at that time, and the sun was just beating down. But you could see people walking up there and looking down, like, look, there's the bus. So yeah, I mean, just a stunning swim area, and it's big too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, they have a zip line goes across there too.
Background on my phone is us at France Park in the water.
Really?
Is it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody doing the zip line while we were there. And they were just closing up the scuba shop for the day. I don't know that anybody was ever got in the water, but So they do offer the zip line,
I've done zip line.
and then they have
I pussied out.
they offer scuba diving for people who have their certifications. You can get in and go down into the actual quarry. So
Nice.
I don't know what the cost on any of that stuff is.
The zip line wasn't that
expensive,
bad. Yeah,
so.
it was relatively cheap.
I don't actually know that they do the zip line anymore. Were there people zip lining while you were there?
I didn't see anybody zip lining, but the lines were still run.
Yeah. Because I think the last time we were there, we were wondering if they were doing it, and nobody ever came up to do it. So, but the zip line was fun.
Because it goes right over the quarry, right? I mean,
Yeah, over the water.
Once again, we talk about that first step.
right.
And
You jump.
Yeah, that first step is off the highest point in that quarry where you step off. And yeah, you talk about that, and I was up there and I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I think I'll just pass.
Even when Brad went, he scraped the water at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you get
You
enough.
can
slack in
imagine
there,
what
you
my
can-
fat ass would have done on that thing.
So they have a ton of hiking trails. We didn't do any hiking while we were there.
That's just what I was looking up to see what kind of hiking trails they had. I
Yeah.
got my All Trails app here. That's definitely one that the Golden Curiosity crew is going to have to go check out.
Well,
Yeah.
the most important hike to do at France Park is the
Uh-huh.
disc golf course.
Right.
I knew that was coming.
I do think they actually have a trail that goes out and
Yeah.
around the quarry, though, which
They
would
do.
be just stunning because that quarry is beautiful.
Mhm.
Looks like it's about 1.4 miles. Elevation grade's 82 feet, and it is a loop.
A loop, yeah.
Yep.
I think it starts at one end of the beach and then comes all the way back around.
Yep.
Nice.
As Gunnar was saying, they do have a disc golf course. That's more your guys' area than it is mine.
It's a good course, wooded course.
It is probably one of the best courses that we have played, and we played it several times. We've actually just made the drive down just to play the course. But it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's difficult. It will wear you out walking that course because it's a lot of ups and downs, and you know, sometimes you're putting on the side of a hill facing up. You know, vigorous I think is the word I'm looking for. But it's a great course, and you know, it's well laid out, and it was always fun to go do it. But you were just exhausted when you were finished. So I would recommend that course.
It is a bring your own disc,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
They don't have them for rent. So, they do have a mini golf course. It's $3 to play, and when you return your putter, you get $1 back.
Wait, what? They have a they have a disc golf course. They have a mini golf course there.
Yes.
What? Did you play mini golf?
To be honest, I didn't even know they had one.
I didn't either.
I don't think it's that old. I think they just put it in within a few years, and it's a 9-hole course. It wasn't extremely well taken care of, so the grades and stuff were really, really strange on it. So it was tough.
Right on.
So Aspen got a hole-in-one on hole 8, I believe it was.
Okay.
It took me 6 putts to sink that one. But that's not even the worst part of it. I think it's hole 4. The hole comes up and it sits on just a little like hill, right? And the hole's in the middle.
Uh-huh.
Aspen got it in 2. I got it in 14.
Did your son kick your ass at mini golf?
Nope, I still won by 1.
No.
Yeah.
Aspen, you had him.
Eraser. I won by 1, Aspen.
He had some pretty rough holes on there. And the way I play is I typically only count to 6. But
Yep.
my scorecard went to 10, so we just kept going up.
Right on.
Yeah, it was just, it's a fun little course. Nothing state of the art by any means. That hole on the hill though was shallow. Like if you hit it too hard, it just bounced right back out of that hole. And I had that happen to me 4 times. So, little salty about that.
Not his go-to mini golf course.
It's definitely not ninja golf, but it was fun. I mean, you know, I don't expect a state-of-the-art mini golf course at a campground. But.
Right.
And that's all I have written, guys. You can check their rates at co.cass.in.us. That is the state website for France Park.
So France Park is a state park. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. It's good to know.
And Cass, obviously, is Cass
It's
County.
Cass County, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what, 2 miles outside of Logansport, which I think we've mentioned Logansport before.
Mm-hmm.
Logansport is a beautiful town.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And that's one of those towns that they've really focused on revamping over the last 10, 15 years.
I remember the first time I went, we were driving down to shoot that video, and we got the GPS on, and I'm like, where are we going? Where are we going? Because it just, like you said, it's only a couple miles outside of town. What you said on 24, right?
It's on 24.
Yeah. I remember driving and thinking, oh my God, I thought we were going to be in Logansport, but we're on our way out of Logansport. But, yeah, it's well worth that 2 mile drive out of town.
Oh yeah. It's a stunning place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there, I know that when we were there, there was a couple little iffy things when it came to the campground. Had they really worked on kind of revamping that, or?
I will tell you that we were on campsite. It was D3 or D4, and we sat on the top of the hill, and then went down into the like the bathroom area.
Okay.
And the bathrooms themselves were really nice for a campground. A lot better than what I've experienced, say at Jellystone, where they don't necessarily need to take good care of their public bathrooms. Our campsite, the grade was horrible for tech camping. We had to adjust the tent twice before we found somewhere where we could actually have it flat.
Right.
Our fire pit was really shallow, and it didn't let for airflow, so I spent a good chunk of Saturday kicking rocks around trying to
get that airflow through the bottom.
Right, open it up so I could have a decent fire to cook on. And the trees were dropping what I'm pretty sure were hazelnuts. Which, I mean, obviously you can't help without cutting out the trees, which as a state park I'm sure they can't do. But the shells on them are spiky and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you take one to the head?
No, but Cheryl's card might have taken a beating.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That card seems to always take a beating every time somebody has it.
Every time. So you did send us pictures as you guys were camping, Snapchats, and I'm sure there's some on your Facebook page. But I gotta admit, man, I'm pretty impressed with your cooking skills on the open fire and your cast iron skillet. You guys did pizza. You guys did breakfast, and you guys did like a pizza in that thing, and it looked pretty great. Yeah,
and so I love cast iron to start. You know, I love my griddle. I love just my cast iron skillets because I can, really, really cook a good steak on them.
Right.
So we took them down with us, and Saturday we cooked up bacon and eggs and all that stuff in one of the little ones, and then Saturday night as we were getting back from the beach, we had an assortment of stuff that Jess wanted to make. I was like, well, I know you wanted to make pizza. Let's just throw it in the cast iron and see what happens. So that's what we did. We bought the pre-tube dough and
yeah.
We bought pizza.
You didn't knead your own dough out there in the middle of.
Well, I would have, but and we threw foil over it, set it on the fire, which I'd built up a little bit so it wasn't on the direct flame, and just let them go. And then she did cinnamon rolls in the cast iron, and
Nice.
she tried to do that s'mores dip with, the chocolate marshmallows. You just dip the graham crackers in, but that didn't. The chocolate burned, so it didn't turn out.
Oh,
very
right
well,
on.
But yeah, man, it was a great time. The kids enjoyed themselves for the most part. Aspen is a social creature, so Friday night he did not really enjoy himself, but Saturday, once he could meet with the other kids at the campground, he had a great time.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I know the last time he was out with us at Jellystone, he got right in with the neighbor kids and was over there.
Painting rocks.
I did talk to Cody after that, and I thanked him for letting Aspen come over and hang out, and he just shook his head at me. He goes, he's such a good kid. I'm like, yeah? And he's like, yeah, he jumped right in there. He goes, and my mom loves that. She's an older, retired school teacher, and so she still loves to teach the kids stuff like that. So, but yeah, you can tell, man, he's all about just hanging out with all the other kids, and so I can see where that would be important.
Oh, it's a blessing and a curse, because I'm always scared I'm going to look out my front window and he's just going to be gone. But yeah, he's a social butterfly. Once he gets to be around other kids, he just excels. And
right on.
They had the playground right over beside the restrooms, so we could look down and still see him. But yeah, once he was playing, he was having a good time.
Very cool. Very cool. So there you go. There's Franz Park down in Logansport. What's the address on that again?
4505 US 24, Logansport, Indiana, 46947.
Nice. Cool.
And then just Google it, and you'll find the website for the rates.
Yeah, I don't even know what their rates are. I have to look into that. Like I said, it's been a long time since we camped down there, so I imagine it's about state park rates, isn't it?
I would have wrote them all down, but I mean, there's just a huge list, between primitive, electric, tent camping, and then all your different kinds of
the camper,
right.
With the sewer and all that stuff.
And then, of course, they allow golf carts and stuff down there for an extra fee, but you have to be insured.
Right.
So it's definitely worth the trip. Franz Park is stunning. I always forget while I'm not there, but the second I'm back in, then the cliffs and the quarry, and it is just a beautiful place. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Nicely done. Both of you. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we thank you for listening to Golden Image Podcast.
Especially you, Fat Billy Ray.
I'm going to hear about this. You can ignore his phone calls and be like, oh, I was busy, bro.
I would never ignore his phone calls.
He knows my schedule like crazy. He knows where I'm at all the time.
Andy, brother, love you.
Uh-huh.
Love the mullet. I really
Andy
do.
Ray Cyrus.
Andy Ray Cyrus.
Oh my God. And now you lost my train of thought. Sad. Yes, thank you for listening to Golden Image Podcast. And Skyler ran about Fat Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, you can't go wrong. If you enjoyed us today, feel free to check out all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment network of podcasts, which include what we talked about earlier, The Call Guys with Chico and Colton. They talk about all pop culture lists and stuff like that. It's always entertaining. Or you can check out, what's the next one?
The MurdNerds.
The MurdNerds. How many do I have? 5. Check out the MurdNerds. That's facebook.com/MurdNerds. What is Call Guys? Is facebook.com.
The Call Guys pod.
See, this is why you should be doing this and not me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're killing it.
I'm killing it. Yeah, I'm killing something.
I think Colton might have done a better job.
Colton also had it written down in front of him.
Yeah, beforehand,
he's like, I was like, you want me to send you my plugs for the end? He goes, no, I'll just wing it like I always do. I was like, nah, I'm going to send you one.
So, yeah, there you go. The Call Guys and MurdNerds, both those on Facebook. You can find them on Facebook. You can also find on Facebook the United States of Paranormal. They talk about everything paranormal in the whole United States. And our newest venture out, which we're having so much fun recording, is the Indiana Chiefs fans. And, of course, it's facebook.com/Indiana Chiefs fans podcast.
IN Chiefs fans.
See, this is why you need to be doing this. I don't have it written down here either.
I don't have it written down either.
But you've done it so many times, you got to freaking memorize.
Yep, you got United States Paranormal, facebook.com/United States Paranormal, Indiana Chiefs fans, IN Chiefs fans pod.
IN Chiefs fans pod.
And then the Call Guys, just the Call Guys pod.
And MurdNerds?
Just MurdNerds.
Just MurdNerds. There you go. I'm very proud of all of the podcasts. They're doing well, and they're putting in tons of effort to bring you content. So please go check them out. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review. You can jump on there and give us a 5-star if you really liked us. And if you didn't like us, give us a 1-star. And then tell us why you didn't like us so that we can make it better. If you want to get a hold of us here, it is Golden Mojo ENT@gmail.com. We'd be happy to answer any questions or... maybe you got a place that you'd like us to go check out. We'd love to go do stuff like that. So as a listener or a fan of the show, we like to listen to you because we do this so that you'll want to go do this. Have an idea.
Yeah.
All right. Did I miss anything?
No. Fall's here.
Fall is here.
So hopefully we find some fun stuff to do this fall.
Oh, yeah. You going to take the kids on like a corn maze or something?
I bet, yeah. I'm going to make a trip down to McClure's here in a few weeks. So
It's hard saying. Montana's wedding, at this point...
Yeah, don't even try to figure that out in your head.
It's either coming up or we are right after it.
Right.
And then we have Nick and Amanda's wedding at the end of November. And that's got us booked up for at least 2 weekends before that. So, finding the time to do anything right now is a little strenuous.
Yep, it's a busy time of year. Busy.
And that's why we went and made sure to get out into France Park
last
weekend, so we could have some time with just the kids and,
just doing it up.
Trying.
All right, well, that's going to get us here for Golden Image Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Later.
Golden Image Radio is on the air. Golden Image.
Oh, I finally got a crap this game.
Rock on.